2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves at Target Center. The Timberwolves have been staying very focused in this last stretch. They are really playing at a high level right now, going 8-1 over the last 9 games. And tonight, get ready for some highlights. 2 lightning-quick, high-flying calls. Kenny, when you have teams as athletic as these, how can one side carve out an advantage?
Poise. That's it. You want to be athletic, but you also want to be level-headed. You got to have a combination of the two. You got to execute your plays, and you just don't rely on your physical gifts because that could be detrimental.
And not only that, A&B, FAE.
What's that?
Avoid mistakes, be fast and efficient.
Wow. FMB.
Where did he come up with that?
FAE?
A&B, FAE.
Okay.
Avoid mistakes,
Okay.
be fast and efficient.
God, man, that's quick and fast.
It's going to be an exciting matchup. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
You're the first person who's ever said that.
AMB, FAE.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The crowd is assembled here at the Target Center in Minneapolis, looking for the Timberwolves to have a victory here on their home floor. And we've got it for you live, right here on 2K Sports. And here it comes, the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here, and I'm joined by Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines. And, of course, Shabazz Muhammad. He's a guy that will be sorely missed.
And his fans, teammates, there are a lot of people that I'm sure are sad to see him go, given all that he's brought to the table. But I like what the trade does for them. I bet it helps them right off the bat, not to mention in the long term.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, you know, sometimes it can be a problem when you have as much talent as the Timberwolves do on their team, and it's a lot of offensive talent as well. So are there enough touches for everybody? Now, Karl Anthony Towns says yes. He says, no matter what, we are all going to eat. There is enough food on the table for all of us. Kevin, this is always a problem for you, but we're going to let you eat first.
All right, D, not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. Clark, tonight in this matchup, young teams, not a lot of experience, and there are tough things for these young players to pick up as they make their journey, I know, through the NBA.
You're really right on top of it there, Kevin, because young players tend to be more emotional, and that doesn't always serve you well. Being poised and calm and confident is what you see from veteran players. Understanding game situations and having the presence of mind to be aware in all situations is part of what sometimes isn't prevalent with young players.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. So on the floor for Philadelphia, Redick and Simmons are the 2 and the 3. Embiid is out there with Saric, and it's Fultz in at point guard. Minnesota on D. They want to keep it rolling here following the win against Dallas.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And, you know, Greg, they were sinking shots left and right, and that's got to be demoralizing for the defense. They were in a real zone.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal.
Simmons banked in off the glass.
Boy, what skill from Simmons. I mean, so adept at reading the defense and exploiting them in the paint.
T kicks to Wiggins. They set the pick. It's Butler that time on the assist by Wiggins. Butler's got his second basket.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
Well, you know, Greg, they can count on him to get buckets. I mean, he's getting the ball because he's very efficient when he has it.
The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Gibson passes to Butler. Gibson dishes to Towns. No good. Shot missing. Good D by Embiid. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Philadelphia, defeated by the Pelicans in their last game. They'll try to put that one behind them.
You know, a poor shooting night. I just got the sense they didn't work hard enough to get good looks.
Well, the effort plainly was not there. I mean, they often settled for tougher, lower percentage shots, and that makes it hard to win.
Embiid the screen. We're just about 2 minutes into the first quarter. Embiid with a screen on Teague. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the shot goes in from Fultz. Fultz has got his first 2 points of the night.
You know, Fultz handles contact really well for a young player. Excellent at staying under control and then finishing through the contact.
Now here's Gibson. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Butler against Simmons. Here's Wiggins.
Oh! Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, ooh, wow. Making the impossible look easy. Wiggins with the great creativity in the air. He typically hangs in the air a little longer than the average bird, though.
Here's Fultz. 14 points from him the last game against New Orleans.
Yeah, but he was the ultimate two-way player. Defensively, also doing a great job. Couple blocks in that game as well. Oh, a good open look, and he sprays it home from 3.
Wiggins sets a screen for Teague. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Teague. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for the 76ers.
And no doubt they relied upon that three-point shot to provide a big chunk of their scoring. That's been a trend in the modern NBA, and they took that philosophy and ran with it.
Philadelphia has gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Simmons with it. Now defended by Wiggins. Simmons against Wiggins from the stripe. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. The Timberwolves have gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%. And Teague, here we go. And he makes the bucket, through contact, and gets the whistle, too.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, some point guards will feel that contact and just take the trip to the line. But Teague was determined to draw the foul and convert the shot.
Free throw good, Teague.
And, you know, the 2016-17 season was one of the best for Jeff Teague in his time in the league. Had to feel good for him performing at such a high level in his hometown of Indy.
Now here's Redick. He's playing a pretty big role for him at the offensive end, averaging about 12.5 points a game. And the dunk by Towns.
And a good call. Towns, one of the best in the league with the catch and flush.
The 76ers trail by 4. And you remember Teague revealed at the end of the 2015-16 season that he'd been limited by a torn patella tendon.
Yeah, and part of what makes him special is his explosiveness, and he needs that to be his best. Really, any player does. He's a player whose strength, I think, is attacking and playing downhill and getting himself to the foul line.
Butler. Simmons pulls it in.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen, got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
Now here's Šorić. Jimmy Butler unable to get his last shot to go. Wiggins against Simmons. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. That's on J.J. Redick. All right, well, a look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for Minnesota.
With the aggression they're showing early on, I mean, they're driving it to the hoop with authority and force.
And also, it's been a positive to watch that they've attacked the paint offensively as well. It's really been about the balance that they've shown.
And he makes the first. Well, having depth is such a big deal for these teams, Clark. As you get deeper into the season, we see how these injuries begin to pile up.
Yeah, and they can hurt you. And you know they're going to happen. You've got to be lucky. A lot of it depends on your preparation and your preventative training. And that's not only on the training staff, but it's also on the players to take care of their bodies, get their rest, and do the things they need to do to try to be ready to play every game. Hey, and you know, when you're the #1 overall pick, there's some pressure that comes with that stature, and Wiggins had a lot of pressure on him because of that. Has responded well, though, and I think stardom is in this guy's future. I mean, you look at his overall game and how he's developing, a really good threat on offense, and I think he's got a chance to be all NBA defense at some point.
It's good on the putback.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
The 76ers trail by 8.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
With the putback.
The shooting percentage is really solid so far, fellas. Good start to this game for him.
T kicks to Towns. The dish to Gibson. Clock at 6. Butler passes to Teague. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Teague's got 5 now. And just thinking about the maturing of Wiggins' game and how he's developed, Clark, he's shown that he can carry an offense as a perimeter player. Few can do that at his age.
Yeah, and he was able to do that in part because he was forced to. When Levine went down last season with an injury, stepped up his scoring, and I think he's only going to get better as he gets older.
And it's Butler with the jam.
And all you have to do is throw the ball in Butler's direction, and he'll handle the rest for you, believe me. Fantastic at finishing on the alley-oops.
And the 76ers decide to take their first timeout here. And the Sixers, Clark, this summer traded away a pick to move up and take Markelle Fultz, but still they have a surplus of draft picks in the pipeline.
Great young talent, no doubt, guys, with more on the horizon. You know what? They've got a wealth of assets that should transform this Sixers team over the next few seasons.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, they're getting crushed, killed, hammered, pulverized in the post.
T.J. McConnell, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And here are the 76ers now, trailing by 10. There's the pick. There's the feed to Fultz. Embiid with a screen on Teague. 5 on the clock, and the rejection by Towns.
Some great timing that time from Teague, who was able to climb the ladder and get the shot block. Don't see that much from him, but pretty good work there.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
Minnesota leading by 10. Wiggins from outside. That one's rebounded by Embiid. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Sharch, that's good.
Kevin, for a young player, I like the way Fultz sees the floor. He knows and feels when a guy is open.
Towns, the screen. Floats it up for Butler. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession. Let's take this moment to bring you a leaderboard featuring a very well-rounded group. The top rebounding small forwards in the NBA the last 10 games. Ben Simmons is second.
And maybe they're not the biggest or strongest players in the front court, but that hasn't limited their ability to get in there and mix it up and come up with a lot of rebounds night in and night out.
I think you've got to look at their athleticism. I mean, they make up for all the size and bulk they may give away to the post specialists, and really that's how they're able to compete in there. Athleticism gives them an edge.
Here's Embiid after the basket by Dario Saric.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
And Embiid with the block.
Solid read from Embiid there. Terrific at anticipating when that shot is coming.
A second chance effort, and the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
Just barely too late and catches it on the way down. He's already in the air there, committed, so can't fault him for going for the block.
And Joel Embiid, from the time he started playing basketball in Cameroon through the University of Kansas, Clark, he began patterning his game after Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well, it sounds like he's a visual learner because he got a DVD of Hakeem and said he watched it almost daily. Their stories are similar. Both started playing hoops relatively late. Both are from Africa. And you watch the gracefulness of Embiid's moves inside. Easy to see the influence of Olajuwon.
Clark, most great defenders are at the forward positions in the league right now.
Yeah, they are, and I tell you what, boy, you talk about Klay Thompson shooting, but defensively, he is actually, he's an instructional video, what he does defensively. He's strong, he's smart, he's disciplined, and he has tremendous lateral quickness. I don't know if there's a better defender at the wing position than Klay Thompson. I know Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is in the conversation, Tony Allen, but Klay Thompson gets my #1 vote.
Here's McConnell, following the score by Jamal Crawford. Now here's Bayless. He's guarded closely. Embiid the screen. Shot off the pick and off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him. Bayless has got his first 2 points of the night. Crawford outside. Sweet little floater. And the Timberwolves lead by 7.
Resplendent release on the floater. When executed correctly, it's a beautiful, effective shot.
Johnson the screen. Anderson right side. Good. And McConnell gets the assist. Anderson's got his first points in this one.
Well, I tell you what, the jump shot of Anderson continues to improve. I love seeing him pull up from here.
Johnson with the block. Anderson outside. Embiid the screen. Anderson up top. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
2 shots, gentlemen. Well, you know, you talk about an NBA body. Justin Anderson, 6'6", about 230 pounds. As I recall, he posted a 43-inch vertical in the NBA Combine. That's elite strength and athleticism.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Blue shots.
That free throw good from Anderson. Clark, you know, it's interesting. The league is going towards small ball, but there's a demand for strong physical wings, and Justin Anderson certainly fits the bill.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. As more power forwards stray and navigate to the perimeter, you want guys who can defend, shooting guard through power forward, and Anderson has the body strength and quickness to do that.
And picks taken in the late first round can be a bit of a crapshoot, Clark. But Justin Anderson, taken with the 21st pick back in 2015, he sure seems like a keeper.
Yeah, I concur with everything you said there, Kevin. I mean, seeing him at Virginia, you knew he had the physical tools. It's just a matter of developing his skills and his shooting ability to be able to succeed at this level, and I think he will.
Now, here's McConnell. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Anderson kicks to Johnson. Pass to Bayless. Here's McConnell. The 76ers again can't hit it.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Yeah, I like the way they're setting the tone. Really playing with a lot of energy here at the start.
Here's Anderson. He averages about 5 points a game. Johnson the screen. Off the pick. Doesn't go that time. So Minnesota will take it the other way. And he makes the bucket, drew contact, and gets the whistle too.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from the paint.
The Timberwolves shooting their 4th shot at the foul line here.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Guys, that says a lot about the poise of this team. I mean, they've been so calm, cool, and consistent at the stripe this year. I mean, that's impressive.
One shot, behind the legs.
That one misses for Jones. And Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Covington, a screen on Crawford. There's a screen. The 76ers with another miss.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Basket counts. The 76ers trail by 7. Now, here's McConnell. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Here's Covington. Off target on the 15-footer. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. We'll return shortly. And J.J. Redick, a focal point in his tenure with the Duke Blue Devils, both offensively and as a lightning rod for fans.
I think I'll forever be associated with Duke and Duke basketball. And obviously that's a polarizing topic for some people. They like me, some people don't like me. But I take a lot of pride in the fact that I went to school there, I got to play there, and I graduated from Duke.
There's no doubt that he is Mr. Duke, J.J. Redick, and it's hard to argue with that school's incredible success, Greg, whether you like him or not. And I know you've had a first-hand view of Duke a couple times.
You know, and listen, I have the utmost respect for J.J. and Coach K and what they've done there. And listen, you could be known for a lot worse things in your life and haven't gone to a lot worse places. But I think for him, it's not about where he's been, Kevin. I think it's about where he's going and what's going to be the next chapter in his career.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Exactly. I mean, they've made their presence felt on this end. Excellent job contesting shots so far.
We've got Crawford. Bielitsa is out there with Patton. Then it's Gorgie Dang. And it's Jones in at the point guard position. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Now here's Jang. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. The 76ers trail by 5. Pass to Bayless. He dishes it to Covington. Johnson the screen. Johnson sends the screen for Anderson. Just 3 to shoot. Covington. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
Just barely too late and catches it on the way down. He's already in the air there, committed, so can't fault him for going for the block.
And the 76ers making a change here. Redick is checked in. A minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball operations Tom Thibodeau says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything. Fires for three. Knocks down the three ball. Redick's got it all tied up now for the 76ers.
Excellent confidence from Redick. Really good. I mean, taking his time, his form, textbook.
Jones kicks to Crawford. Another field goal for him. 4 for 6 shooting tonight.
Guys, he has been a major factor, big time. Outstanding at getting quality looks and knocking them down.
Johnson the screen. Anderson with the ball. He feeds it to Bayless. The offensive rebound. Covington kicks to Anderson. And for those of you just joining us, we're in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. Johnson the screen. Tries again. And another shot. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And that versatility that Johnson offers has a huge upside. He's mobile and strong enough that he can defend either front court position, and that's a great tool for any team to have.
Two shots.
He misses the free throw.
A lot of losing in Philadelphia. Just 47 wins over 3 seasons from 2013 to 2016. That's the second worst 3-year stretch in NBA history.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Philadelphia also making some changes. Sharch comes in for Justin Anderson, and it's Fulton for Jared Bayless. That's off as well, so he misses both. And Clark, for the Sixers, it seems they're finally headed in the right direction.
Well, I think that's the benefit of patience and all of those high draft picks, Kevin. I mean, some people don't like how they did it, but they rebuilt the roster from the ground up, and I think it gives them a strong foundation going forward.
And with Andrew Wiggins, you know he can be deadly from mid-range, but he's seen an uptick in scoring, Clark, because he's been focusing on all the little things you need to master as a perimeter wing threat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has been focusing on those intangible, those small things that are big things in making a difference in how efficient you are on offense. He's improved his play running the pick and roll every year. He's excellent in transition and off cuts, and has really worked on becoming a better finisher off the screen and roll handoff.
And Clark, a lot of former players had a specific instance when they knew they were special, the way they played the game of basketball. Did you ever have a moment like that where you realized that you could make it as a player?
Yeah, there was a time when that became more realistic to me, Kevin. And I grew up in Cleveland, and during the summers, a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers would stay in the area and play pickup basketball to stay in shape. And I got a chance to bump heads with a lot of those guys, Jim Jones and the late Terry Furlow, Austin Carr, Bingo Smith, Mike Mitchell. And I was only 15, 16 years old. And while those guys were going at half speed, it gave me the encouragement that I might be able to get to where they were if I continued to work hard and stay healthy. So at 15 or 16, during one of those summers, I began to realize that I might have a chance to realize the dream of being an NBAer.
Redick dishes to Fultz. He kicks it to Covington. Feeds it to Fultz. Charge a screen on Teague. Fultz the pass to Sharch. Screen by Sharch. Here's Simmons. That one off the back iron and out. Minnesota in the lead. And Teague, here we go. Here's Towns. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Towns has got his second basket of the night.
You know, for a guy with Towns' size, I mean, to have this level of body control, tell you what, it's no wonder the contact didn't bother the shot.
Now here's Simmons. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against the Pelicans in New Orleans.
Kudos to him for his energy, especially on the glass where he was an absolute beast.
Now here's Teague after Ben Simmons' miss. Gibson setting the pick for Teague. The three. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
Yeah, and checking out some stats here for Ben Simmons. A strong stretch of play the last 10 games. Averaging 15 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. And some pretty good numbers, guys. He's certainly making a contribution.
Better than expected. He still has a ways to go, but I like what I'm seeing right now.
Joel Embiid. He's checked in for the 76ers.
Simmons doing a nice job there mucking up passing lanes and making life difficult for the opposition. And that's a mindset, but also activity and energy display.
Here's Butler. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Sharch has got his 4th rebound in this one. In the corner, Simmons with it. Back to Redick from the arc. The rebound by the Timberwolves. They've led by as much as 10. And guys, this is the first they're seeing of Philadelphia this year.
Yeah, faced off twice last season, and it was a split between the two teams.
Well, you know, both of these teams know and understand when they face off, it's a very winnable game for either one of them.
Here's Fultz. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Fultz kicks to Simmons. Embiid with a screen on Wiggins. Here's Simmons. And there's the call on Dario Saric. That is his first foul of the game. Timberwolves leading by 3. Now Teague. He's got 5. He's looking for Wiggins and finds him. Up high to stuff the alley-oop.
And down hard. Flying high for the catch and flush, Kevin. Wiggins gets off the ground in a hurry.
The 76ers have gone 5 of 12 from the field here in the second. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Here's Fultz. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
And rarely do you see a team trade out of the first overall pick, but that's exactly what the Celtics did with Fultz. Sixers jumped on the chance to move up, and Fultz matched exactly what they wanted to add to this team.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
On the free throw, no good. And you know, Greg, for the trade, it wasn't so much a critique of Fultz.
You know, Boston had a playmaker already, and they might not have taken Fultz if they stayed in the #1 spot. And listen, the Sixers were in desperate need of a lead guard, and they got a franchise caliber one in Fultz.
Showing determination inside. Towns absorbs the contact and gets the whistle.
The Timberwolves have hit most of their free throws tonight, 5 of 6. The free throw drops for Towns.
And looking at Towns and what he can do on the floor already at his age is impressive. This is a guy who's going to be a 20-10 player perhaps for the rest of his career. And as young as he is, I tell you, the sky is the limit.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And when you look at the second year for Towns, it's comparable to other great big men in the history of the NBA. And Greg, I'm talking about players in the top 50 of all time.
Yeah, I mean, just on the sophomore season stats, he looks like he projects to be one of the all-time greats. Comparable numbers to some of the best who have ever played it. Think of these names: Hakeem, Duncan, Ewing, and the Admiral. Maybe we'll be saying Karl Anthony Towns as well.
These are his third and fourth free throw attempts of the game. The free throw drops for Towns. And Clark, as you watch the game at both the college and pro levels over the years, what has been the biggest change for you in your view of that?
Well, you know what, Kevin, there are a couple of things. The athleticism, the real emphasis on training and strengthening the core, meaning from your kneecaps to your sternum. The work that's done to train the hamstrings and quads and glutes and that core area as a place of power, as your center of power, is one of the significant changes I've seen, not just in basketball, but all sports. And it's benefited the athletes greatly and the overall athleticism. And then from a playing standpoint or on the floor standpoint, I think the three-point shot. I think that's been the biggest dramatic change in the game.
Butler, no good. The 76ers trail by 4. Here's Fultz. And misses it off the right side of the rim. Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Butler with the ball. Now guarded by Saric. Shots good by Gibson.
Tell you what, you got to give Butler credit. He's good at sensing when his guys are wide open, and he gets the ball to him right away.
Simmons dishes to Fultz. And Saric kicks to Fultz. Embiid with a screen on Teague. Here's Fultz. The 76ers with another miss.
Seems like he's in a hurry. He's kind of rushing his shot. Clearly out of rhythm right now. That's a big reason why they're losing. He must hit that shot. I mean, the defense, non-factor. Very surprising he missed it.
In the corner, Simmons with it. Screen by Saric. Embiid sets the pick for Fultz. Embiid the screen. Elbow shot. They get it back. Second shot opportunity. Misses at the rim.
Boy, the defense was great. Superb, stellar, platinum level. Can't really contest that shot any better than that.
The 76ers trail by 6. It's Redick on the wing. Three-pointer. And Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down. Towns has got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him. And there's the call on Joel Embiid. That's foul number 2 for him.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
T.J. McConnell, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. Now here's Teague. He has 5 from outside the arc. And Towns the bucket on the assist by Teague. Teague's got 3 assists tonight. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. McConnell passes to Simmons. Saric with the screen for Simmons. Saric outside. Off the mark, and the drop continues. Timberwolves leading by 9. Teague dishes to Towns. Back to Teague. Towns sets the pick for Teague. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Teague's got 7 points in the game.
And, you know, you like seeing Jeff Teague flip the switch. I mean, he's a shifty guard that usually makes pretty strong, sharp cuts.
Now here's Simmons. He's got 11. McConnell kicks to Saric. Great D that time from Gibson.
And, you know, Kevin, this team is struggling a bit right now. I mean, I hope he can find his rhythm. Mercy, mercy me. Boy, I tell you what, he got major bounce, but the long arms, Kevin, of Wiggins gives him an extra advantage converting at the rack.
Here's McConnell. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Charge outside. Kicks it to Simmons. Just 5 on the clock. Another miss by Philadelphia.
Yeah, really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those days. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes it's just not working for you.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now here's Simmons. He's been a factor in their offense on most nights with his scoring average at nearly 16 points a game. Timberwolves leading by 15. T kicks to Butler. It's rebounded by Fultz. Philadelphia shooting just 29% in the second quarter. The offense is suffering. Right side, Simmons. To the paint. Here's Embiid. To end the run. He takes it up and lays it in. He has 7.
No easy chore keeping the 7-footer off the glass. Embiid crashing with intentionality.
Here's Teague. 7 points in the game. And the shot goes in. Teague's got 4 this quarter.
And the crafty, cunning Teague, fantastic at finding ways to score down low.
And so it's Minnesota riding a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, you know, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing that, we can come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what a show being put on here for the home fans tonight. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Big-time play throughout the first half for Jimmy Butler. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Boy, it was rough down there in the paint, and they were just dominant, taking it to the rack. But that's what you have to be willing to do. Take the action to the heart of the competition without any fear. That's why this is already a blowout.
Shaq, what'd you think about Philadelphia?
Well, it's no wonder they're getting blown out. No energy, no fight in the rebound battle. Ernie, you got to pick it up. You got to pick it up starting now, or it's going to be impossible to come back. Like the Pythagorean theorem, times 50, times 100, times 50, times 10. Impossible to figure out, Ernie.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. We are seeing a tremendous game from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, and sometimes you find yourself in a role you're not comfortable with, but his passing in the first half really was impressive.
Yeah, and, you know, he accumulated a lot of assists. And I liked how unselfish he was, Greg.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Minnesota leading by 15. And Brett Brown, such a great fit in Philadelphia. He loves the town, loves the game, loves to coach. He says about the town, Clark, it reminds him of his hometown.
Well, that's nice to hear because he does embody a lot of the grit that you come to know and expect from Philadelphians. I mean, it reminds him of where he's from. He's faced the media through tough times. He's always candid and forthright. And he's coaching with a long lens, as he put it, building towards something great. And, man, I tell you, that passion and enthusiasm just oozes out of him, which is pretty cool to see.
Kicking off the second half, here's Brett Brown's foul. Redick and Simmons are the 2 and the 3. Saric is out there with Embiid, and it's Fultz in at the 1. The Timberwolves have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here.
One shot.
Free throw no good for Butler.
And watching Jimmy Butler, he just offers so much on offense from a scoring standpoint. You know, obviously he can get to the rack and draw the defense to him. Also really improved his ability to knock it down from beyond. Just a complete offensive player.
Timberwolves leading by 15. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. Towns the screen. Here's Teague. The shot comes out. Now the 76ers take it the other way. Here's Simmons. Gets the front of the rim and out. For Minnesota, they've gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. And Greg, as you said, Butler is a threat to score from any part of the floor.
It's a bit of a dying art, though, hitting that mid-range jump shot. Butler also does a great job of getting to the line. That's increased over the course of his career. Just a well-rounded offensive player.
Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's on Markelle Fultz.
Guys, I really like how Teague attacks. I mean, he does a nice job getting inside the guts of the defense and really baiting them into fouling him.
He's gone 1 of 1 in the game so far from the line.
Shooting 2.
Free throw good, Teague. You know, Clark, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves unveiled this new logo they're sporting this season. They felt it was time for an update, and you have to say it looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most teams in the NBA want to mix their logo up every so often to keep it modern and up to date and fresh. The Wolves have a young group and felt it was the right time to re-examine the logo, and I can't argue with them. Sometimes a little change like that can pay big dividends. And you know, guys, early in his career, Jeff Teague was more of a scoring point guard. As his career has continued, he's gotten much better at surveying the court and creating opportunities for his teammates.
Now here's Redick. He has 6. Fultz. The three-pointer no good.
They're in a hurry. I think, Kevin, they're rushing things a little bit to begin the half. Nothing pretty about this 1-for-4 start.
Saric up top, defended by Gibson. Saric passes to Embiid, and Embiid throws it down.
Boy, I like the edge that Embiid plays with. Great at recognizing when he's clear to throw it down on you.
And you look at the style of play for the Atlanta Hawks under Coach Mike Budenholzer. Clark, it was all drive and kick. Do you think that helped Teague develop as a passer?
I think it certainly did, because when you play a system style of basketball, you kind of know where your guys are and where the best shots for them are, and it does help you be a more consistent and effective passer. And also, I think because of three-point shooting in that system, Teague became fairly adept at creating for people to get shots.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Karl Anthony Towns was voted by GMs last season as the player they most want to build a franchise around. But he is not resting on his laurels. He said, "I work hard on my game. I want to be the strongest player, the most intelligent player, and the most skilled player on the court at all times." Kevin?
Thanks, David. That work ethic will definitely help Towns get better. He's already a dynamite player.
2 shots.
And he can't get the first one.
Well, the problem last year for the Timberwolves was their defense. Allowed way too many points in the paint. Fortunately, they've improved their defense down the stretch here.
The 76ers making a switch here. Johnson, he's checked in for Embiid. Robert Covington comes in for Saric. Justin Anderson, he's checked in for Simmons. And Jared Bayless subbed in for Fultz. And he sinks the second. Another issue with the Wolves and their defense was that they weren't a great rebounding team outside, of course, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and you know what? There weren't a lot of big issues with the Wolves' defense, but the small issues added up and cumulatively were a problem. I think they've got to continue to build on becoming a solid defensive team. He's forcing shots offensively, hurting his team in the process. He needs to trust his teammates more.
In a moment now to see nice three-point percentage numbers on this list. A look at the leaderboard showing us the most accurate three-point shooting 2 men in the league. Number 1, Jimmy Butler. 4th, Redick.
You don't have to be a great shooter to play 2 guard, but it does help. And pretty much all of these guys fit into that great category.
Yeah, that's safe to say. I mean, these guys don't know the meaning of cold streaks. They're either hot, red hot, or sizzling. Those are the kind of shooters they are from downtown.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
Now here's Anderson. Following the miss by Andrew Wiggins. They set the pick. Puts up a 3. Minnesota with the rebound. Towns has got rebound number 17, if you can believe that. Yep, that one goes in there. Butler's got 16.
Yes, he did. Having a big who can locate the open man the way Towns does puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Now here's Bayless. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. A nice shot by Anderson. And here is Teague. Dishes it to Gibson. Now the pass to Butler. Inside. It's stolen by Johnson. Outside, Redick and Johnson now top of the key. That shot is off. Great D that time from Gibson. Now here's Teague. Bayless covering. And Gibson kicks to Towns. Covington with the steal. Redick against Butler. Redick dishes to Covington. Anderson the screen. Gibson with the steal. Here we go, one-on-one. Here's Butler, and he converts the layup. He's got 18.
You got to be more careful around Butler. I mean, he's terrific at bouncing over the opposition and taking the ball away.
Now here's Bayless. And Anderson kicks to Redick. Pass to Bayless. 6 to shoot. Free throw line jump shot. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim.
Well, you really can't get too upset at the defense there. I mean, they were there, but just not good enough to prevent the mid-range jumper from falling.
Teague, the pass to Butler. Back to Teague. The tray. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound. Covington's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Anderson wide open. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Anderson. And here is the shot chart as we see how things are going for Butler.
Well, they say the mid-range game is a dying art form, but after looking at this shot chart, they are injecting a ton of life into it. Whatever space is being offered up to them in the mid-range, they have accepted and have continually knocked down shots to make the defense pay.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
Well, there is a saying now that is pretty accurate. You either sell success or you sell hope. And the process in Philadelphia may have been hard to watch, but it did give their fans hope for a better day.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. And Philadelphia also making a switch. T.J. McConnell, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. It's Bielitsa, and it's Philadelphia with the rebound. And through all the losing, the fans in Philly have been pretty supportive of the Sixers' goals to draft star talent.
Yeah, and you know what? Thousands of fans coming out to watch the draft lottery is an indication of how optimistic and behind the Sixers these fans are. I mean, trust the process has been their rallying cry.
Well, not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Here's Bayless. Plays it in off the breakaway. Bayless has got 8 points.
Boy, I tell you, he has been lights out. Sadly, they're still behind. He needs his guys to step up.
Jang, a screen. Deep two from Crawford. Another miss by Minnesota. The 76ers trail by 14. Covington kicks to McConnell. Now the dish to Bayless. Back to McConnell. Trying to find Johnson. He's got it now. And the shot goes in.
Nice hands that time by Johnson. Able to gather and go up with no problems at all inside.
Jang, a screen. Jones dishes to Jang. Crawford right side. Here's Jones. Here's Jang. Here's Patton. Shoots over Covington. Misses, and the dry spell continues. 76ers have gone 7 of 15 from the field here in the third quarter. Bayless's shot is off.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
To the right side. It's Bielitsa. Drills the three-pointer. Bielitsa's got his first 3 points of the game. The 76ers trail by 15. The kick out to Anderson. Can't hit that one. And it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. They led by as many as 18 points. They host the Kings after this game, and that'll be the middle game of their 5 and their longest homestand of the year. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Bayless the pass to Johnson. And he makes the bucket, drew contact, and gets the whistle too.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
One shot. One shot.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler.
Here's Bielitsa. And the layup is good. Bielitsa's got 5 points so far.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Yeah, that was actually no defense at all there, Greg. I mean, layups don't come any easier than that. I mean, they're piling it on now.
And the 76ers call time here. And Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see 2 #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years, no less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. You look at the Cavaliers, earning the first place position with a terrific record, and we've seen them perform splendidly pretty much all season long so far, and they're definitely the team to beat. And of course, there's Philadelphia, not in the same realm right now in terms of their record.
And right now for the 76ers, they've had their chances to kind of separate themselves from the pack this season, but so far they haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities.
Hey, they're amongst a big group fighting for the bottom few playoff seeds, and that's going to continue all the way through the end of the season. I think they'll get in, but it won't be easy.
You know, didn't need two hands for that slam. One will do just fine.
You're right. He can save the other hand for the next time.
Yeah, I like the variety, though. Nice to switch it up.
Now, here's McConnell. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Covington inside the line. The 76ers with another miss.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Yeah, double-digit advantage on the scoreboard. They've taken the initiative. They've played, I think, with more purpose so far.
Here's McConnell. Offensive rebound. Goes back up. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. And now we go to the 2K leaderboard. What a season it's been for these teams on the offensive glass. Fourth, the 76ers.
And just having a terrific year on the offensive glass, it's because everybody buys in. Not just the big men, but even the guards are getting in on the act.
That's good from Johnson.
And since 2016, a new front office has taken over in Philadelphia. The new team motto, process to progress. They're looking to turn the corner here.
Here's what Philadelphia's going with right now. Sharch has checked in for Robert Covington. Ben Simmons comes in for Justin Anderson. And it's Fulton for Jared Bayless. And the previous Sixers front office, distinguished by their patience in rebuilding and, acquiring draft picks. That was the way they were going to build that team. Clark, do you think the Sixers will continue to show that patient approach?
Well, I think they're going to blend it. They're ready to push their chips in and try to win some games now. They want to be a playoff team as soon as possible. You can't continue to lose forever. They want to start winning, and they're on their way.
Here's Saric following the score by Jamal Crawford. Here's Simmons. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Simmons got 13.
Can't shake Simmons. He is very used to getting hit on these kinds of looks and just plays right through the contact.
55 seconds left in the third. It's Crawford with the drive to the paint. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And Kevin, lots of standing around and watching by the defense that time.
And he makes them pay, doesn't he, Greg, with that emphatic slam.
And, guys, that'll get his heart rate up a little bit, I can tell you that. Watch out. He can be a dangerous player when his motor is revved up that way.
And they're just playing fast and loose. Sometimes that'll burn you.
Can't afford these kinds of mistakes right now, Greg. It's as simple as that. And they're making it hard on themselves.
The 76ers making a switch here. Embiid's checked in. 41 seconds left to play in the third. Simmons against Crawford. Passes to Jang. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
And, Gorgui Dieng is a big man who can play both the 4 and the 5. He doesn't stand out on offense, understated there, but very valuable and solid and consistent. He's a rim protector and a space eater, but also a pretty effective rebounder, too.
Shooting two.
And he knocks down the first one. And Jang, a solid challenger at the rim with his shot blocking. Clark, he doesn't mind having a secondary role on a team as long as they are winning.
Yeah, you know what? He's really comfortable in his own skin and what his role is. He's got great awareness of how to help his team. Never tries to do too much on the offensive end, and he's really good at playing with any other type of big guy that the Wolves put on the floor.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Embiid the screen. Fultz with the ball. Jones covering. Down low. And Embiid throws it down.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Jang a screen. Jones the pass to Patton. The feed to Crawford. And it goes down 2 points. Crawford's got 4 points in the quarter.
A smart, decisive pass inside there. He really made it easy for his teammate.
That shot no good. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Timberwolves lead by 18. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. Now let's hear what Coach Tom Thibodeau was reviewing with his team in the huddle.
Defensively, make sure we're all getting rebounded. No second shot. In transition, everyone talking. No open threes in transition.
And Tom Thibodeau wanting his team to pay particular attention to certain areas of their defense.
Yeah, taking care of the defensive boards, allowing no easy baskets on the fast break. These are key elements in terms of you having success.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Jones is out there with Crawford. Then it's Gorgie Dan. And it's Patton in at the 4. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Wiggins is checked in. And Philadelphia also making a switch. Redick is checked in. The 76ers trail by 18. Screen by Sharch, and the foul called on Tyus Jones. That's his first foul. Here's Fultz. Embiid the screen. Outside, Redick. Here's the screen. A 3 from Simmons. Andrew Wiggins grabs the board.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
It's deflected.
Boy, you cannot forget about the long reach and wingspan of Simmons. I mean, he uses it exceptionally well on defense to come away with block shots.
Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Gorgie Dan. Gibson comes in for Bjelica. Butler, he's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Tyus Jones. Embiid kicks to Fultz. Outside, Redick. Knocked away. Timberwolves leading by 18. To the paint, here's Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
Yeah, you know, not every point guard would be able to find an open man right there, but Teague is always looking for the right play.
Philadelphia's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Embiid with a screen on Teague. Sharch dishes to Embiid over Towns, and he can't bank that one in. For Minnesota, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start.
Wow! Are you? Oh, my goodness. Boy, I tell you, when Wiggins attacks now, good things seem to happen. Now a potential and one. Boy, this young fella's got major talent.
One shot.
And the NBA has a concerted effort to lower the amount of back-to-back games for the players. Clark, should they stretch out the season even further?
No, the ideal solution, Kevin, would be to reduce the number of games, to cut a month off the season. That would be the way to get to where we need to get to. The season should be 66 to 70 games. It should be spaced out over a 6-month period. And if you cut 12 to 16 games, then you would be able to actually get fewer number of back-to-back. Stretching the season out longer, to me, is not the answer. Reducing the number of games would be the best way to get to the solution. But that toothpaste is out of the tube, and I don't know if we can ever get it back in.
Agreed. He misses the free throw. And Ben Simmons said he didn't take a lot of outside shots in college because he didn't need to. He could get to the rim pretty much at will.
Well, he'll find that will not be the case at this level. His shots inside will be challenged a lot more. His perimeter shot has been the question mark, and that's where I think he's got to improve.
He hits the second from the line.
Boy, the athleticism that Simmons has is downright scary. I mean, remarkable, the talent this man has, and the potential, I think, to be a multi-time All-Star.
Now here's Towns. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Butler. Kept alive. Towns kicks to Butler. Gibson the screen. Teague for 3. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Butler's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. And Philadelphia calls time here. Well, Towns does so many things on the floor, already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're improved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line.
Now here's Rose after the miss from Joel Embiid. Aldridge, no good.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Now Bellinelli looking for Redick. He gets it there. High post, Embiid. Embiid with a screen on Butler. And Bellinelli kicks to Embiid.
Man, nice to see how Embiid operates in the pick and roll. Knows how to set hard screens as well as where and when to roll.
Here's Butler. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts, and a chance for one more here.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Timberwolves.
Anytime you get as many points in the paint as they have, you know you've got a good thing going, and you just want to keep it going.
And you've always heard of guys being in a zone shooting, but you can be in a zone passing the basketball, and we've seen that tonight as well.
Free throw, good Butler. And Clark, we saw this a bit last season. When a team is up and it's garbage time, are there unwritten rules as far as shooting or scoring go?
I think you always want to play within the spirit of the game, the spirit of the rules, the respect of the game, and the respect of your opponent. So to me, that should be, you try to always do what's right and just and fair at all times. And late game situations create an environment where you want to always take the high road and play the game with a honoring attitude towards your opponents and the game.
And being over the limit this early really can affect your aggressiveness defensively. They have got to play under control.
That one is off.
You know, the motto in Philadelphia over recent years, in the midst of one of the most patient rebuilding efforts in NBA history, was trust the process. I love that. Hard to do, but certainly worth pursuing. And Joel Embiid has made it his nickname. Joel, the process, Embiid.
And Clark fans know they can chant "trust the process" as Embiid is at the line. Do you like that nickname?
Well, it's more a bumper sticker than a nickname, and I like it, though. I like trusting the process. As a nickname, I'd give it thumbs down, but clearly Embiid is giving these Sixers fans a lot of hope for the present and future.
Philadelphia's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter.
Like that explosion to the basket. Fultz can turn it on so quickly. He's past you before you know it. Quick as a hiccup.
Rose attacking, and he banks in the layup.
I'm not sure who was supposed to be on him that possession. I mean, apparently neither did the defenders.
Now here's Fultz. Defense right on him. Sharch with the screen for Reddick. Clark, the idea of player loyalty has been a topic the last few years. From your view, do you think players have an obligation to stick with the team that drafted them if they can?
I like to see that happen, Kevin. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and personally, I think it's cool to see guys hang with the team that drafted them as long as they can move forward towards their aspirations and goals individually and as a team. I also never begrudge players that after a time decide they'd like to explore a different opportunity with a different team for whatever the reasons might be that drive that. But traditionally and personally, I like to see players be one-team players if all of the circumstances that lend itself to that being productive are in place.
Now here's Brooks following the missed shot by Dario Saric. Butler passes to Aldridge. Back to Butler. There's the triple. Saric grabs the board. Saric has got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Outside, Reddick. It's stolen by Rose. Out of bounds. It'll be 76ers ball. And some changes here for the 76ers. Robert Covington's checked in for Embiid. Justin Anderson comes in for Ben Simmons. And Jared Bayless subbed in for J.J. Reddick. The 76ers shooting only 32% from the field. Plenty of signs of struggle by this offense today. Saric with the screen for Fultz. There's the pick. Bayless dishes to Fultz. Back to Bayless. Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. Shot clock at 5. Towns with the steal. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Floats it up for Butler.
Watch out now when Butler gets rolling. He's super dangerous when he gets the hot hand.
Now here's Fultz. And the NBA has tinkered with the All-Star voting in recent years. Fans no longer get 100% of the say for the starters. Clark, how do you feel about that change?
I like it. I mean, again, the fans desire to be involved and should have an opportunity to be engaged in the voting because they're so important to the success and popularity of the league. So I like the fans having a piece of the voting. 100% is far too much, so I think the fact that you've got it weighted between fans and those who follow the league closely, along with coaches, is about the right blend to me.
And Aldridge sends it back.
Well, we know this about Aldridge, Kevin. I mean, a plus shot blocker. Shows good instincts and gives maximum effort.
From deep, Rose. Good on the three-point shot.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And here's Anderson following the three-pointer by Derrick Rose. 6 on the shot clock. Anderson kicks to Saric. Saric on the follow.
Oh, smooth. Guys, very good job getting himself in close enough that he could just tip it back in.
Well said. Those kind of plays on the offensive glass can tell the story sometimes, can't they?
Yes, they can, Kevin. They can't allow him to beat them to too many more of those.
Here is Rose. After the basket by Dario Saric.
Has to be disappointing seeing him miss that one, Kevin. I mean, the defense wasn't bad, but still, I think he needs to convert from there.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Rose with the ball. Pass to Towns. Shoots over Covington. Saric grabs the board. Saric has got rebound number 11 for him here tonight. Anderson with the ball. Now guarded by Towns. Pass to Fultz. And Clark, when you played the NBA with still mostly American players, now the game is truly global with players from all over the world. How do you think that has changed the NBA?
Well, I think it's enhanced the NBA's product on the floor because, again, you're getting the best players in the world that are competing in the NBA with the international influx. I think it's added to the global popularity of the league without question. The NBA is clear in that we're going far and wide across the globe to find the best players to play in the best league in the world, and I think that's healthy and good.
Minnesota with the ball. Philadelphia able to drain the three. Rose kicks to Butler. He dishes it to Aldridge. Launches a three, and Butler gets it to go on the assist by Aldridge. Butler's got 14 points here in the second half.
I mean, anything you can do, I can do better. We got a little gamesmanship going on.
Yeah, a little mano-mano, back and forth. Oh, wow. Hey, I don't mind a little flash and pizzazz in a guy's game. Fultz showing off a little bit. Impressive dunking skills on display.
Brooks kicks to Towns. It's stolen by Johnson. Here's Bayless. Finished off the break.
And all of a sudden, things finally coming together for them. The deficit's still large, but now not insurmountable.
And, Greg, that kind of deficit, I think they're going about it the right way. I mean, they've got to get aggressive on defense. They need stops. And then you got to take care of the basketball at the other end so you get a good shot every trip.
Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
I tell you what, it should absolutely be illegal for a 7-footer to be able to leave the ground that fast, but Towns has made it legal.
A minute 42 left in the game. Now here's Fultz. Brooks covering. Off the left rim and out.
That's one he knows he should have drained. Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Timberwolves.
Two great rebounding teams.
And these guys worked just a little bit harder tonight, and that was the edge they needed.
And in terms of the season record, this is going to be their 18th win overall.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
It sure is. It's just a 2-gamer since they're in opposite conferences, and you can bet they'll take the same approach right into game 2 that they had tonight.
And as one might have guessed coming into this game, it was indeed another big game tonight for Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and he was aggressive rebounding the ball tonight. I think his aggressiveness on the glass helped set the tone. Hey, you could sink these with your eyes closed or blindfolded. So close, so deep inside. Great bucket.
Outside Rose. Here's the screen. Tries a three. Nailed from three-point land.
I'll tell you what, the energy in this arena, you can feel it.
Big time. I mean, it's amazing. Their crowd letting them hear it, and that's always inspiring. They want to see this thing get wrapped up.
It's Anderson with the drive, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to go on Cole Aldridge.
Boy, Anderson, really an impressive athlete, excels at blasting his way inside and drawing the contact.
And the first one drops.
Justin Anderson brings tremendous athleticism. I love that. He's an excellent perimeter defender who just needs to keep improving on offense.
And both free throws good for Anderson. And Minnesota has possession. And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Jimmy, you have been outspoken about the need for maximum effort. Was it part of your plan to grab wins like the one we saw tonight?
It wasn't a part of my plan, but whatever works, works. I think we got a bunch of talented guys, and at times we forget how hard we got to play. On the road, at home, this is how we got to play basketball.
Jimmy, thanks for the time, man. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us. So long.